Welcome to Introverse.
You just froze, and then were you talking during that time?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm hoping it got it. I didn't hear you. That's weird. I wonder if it's because, you know what? This is summertime now, and the kids are out of school,
They're all podcasting.
and they're all podcasting right now.
Yeah, because it's not my internet. My internet's fine. Like, I just checked my internet. I'm actually getting higher internet speeds than what I pay for. I
Interesting.
pay for like 500 up
Yeah,
and
I pay
down.
for 500 too.
I'm getting like 520.
For a brief moment, I had a terabyte, and that was nice, man. You can download like gigabytes worth of stuff in seconds.
You have fiber?
I do not know.
No, I had fiber in my last place. Fiber's fantastic.
Right.
What's up, Gregory?
What up? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I like
Just-
that. That headset is sick.
Those headphones are. I'm strangely drawn to them.
Bluetooth.
Can't stop
These are my Bluetooth ones, and
your blue Bluetooth ones.
They're literally blue.
Well, it's interesting because you look like a man from the future right now with the white glasses and the bright blue headphones.
Mhm.
It's
pretty sick.
Yeah.
It's time to move forward, gentlemen. We can't be left behind.
Yeah, I mean, I still got a wire on mine.
Yeah.
You remember the flimsy headphones that came with Walkmans?
Mm-hmm.
They had the little foam cushion around
Was
them.
it like an aluminum? It was
it was like aluminum thing that attached them. I think
thin-
back to it, I'm like, wow, it was so flimsy.
Mm-hmm.
But we treated it delicately.
Right. Yeah, because
They
if
were
you
important.
sat on those, they were gone. That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
I
You were
love
done.
my Walkman.
Yeah.
Walkman was awesome.
We're not using this anymore.
I think I liked the Walkman because my music was so censored, and I could privately be in my own world with whatever music I was listening to. It was nice. It was
ballet.
sweet.
That's what you were into back then.
Yep. You know.
What to say? What music were you listening to back then that was censored?
Petra. We talked about this. Boys to Men. I'll make love to you.
Petra, like the reggae woman?
No, I was thinking Petra, like the Christian rock band.
So in Memphis, there's a video channel that used to play music videos. You had to call in and request them, and it would automatically show them no matter what, because you had to. I don't know how it. So anyway,
you had the power.
Patra, Patra, had a video at this time, and again, this is adolescent. I'm adolescent boy or whatever. Her videos played a lot, and this was before before Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B and all these people. There was Petra.
Let me see what she looks like.
She had a video. The video I remember, it's just in my head all the time because of my youth. She had a song called "Romantic Call," and it just be her in a parking lot dancing around a bunch of cars and stuff. You know how rap videos are back in the day.
Right.
And that video, not the most famous video I saw on The Box. That's the name of the channel, The Box.
No, but I see why I see the appeal here.
Oh, you looked her up. Okay.
Yeah, I see the appeal.
I definitely.
Well, I feel like I missed Patra. I don't recall a Patra.
She was never famous.
You would recall. You would recall if you did.
She was never like famous. She never had a radio hit because she was like a reggae singing woman.
Okay.
But she was on Memphis television with these music videos. And
she like, did she have more of a following in Jamaica and like the islands and stuff? I mean, was that a thing? Like,
I can't speak. I don't have the information in that,
gotcha.
But she was, so she came up with like Mad Cobra and Shaggy and all those people. And so if you were listening to reggae and like reggae, R&B, rap crossover, she would have been on your radar then. Yeah. But I know her because you talk about censored music. I never wanted my parents to catch me watching her music video. and it was censored on television, but, man, I wonder
Yeah.
now I could probably find, like, a because Sir Mix-a-Lot Put 'Em on the Glass was the most famous video that I saw on the box, and it was always censored. I have since, in my adult life, gone back to find the uncensored version.
Right,
I
right.
wonder
Oh,
if there was I wonder if there's a Patra. I don't remember if she had a whole lot to be censored, not as much as Sir Mix-a-Lot, but,
Right.
yeah,
He was
talk about
mixing a
I
lot.
derailed this entire
no, it's
conversation,
No,
good.
but
you're good because we
'Cause
were
you didn't even start,
I
so
was I was I was curious about as to what our childhood heroes were, and clearly
well,
Patra
Sir
and Sir
Mix-a-Lot
Mix-a-Lot.
was
Sir
is up
Sir
Mix-a-Lot was
Mix a
there.
up
Lot.
there.
It was up there for different reasons, man.
That's funny.
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Yeah.
It's different between hero and just looking up to the person.
Yeah, no, well, I was thinking about that though, like, kids today, I call them
They're looking
role
up to
models.
YouTube personalities.
That's what I'm saying, like,
This what's the Mr. Biggs or whatever the heck his name
Mr.
is?
Biggs,
That's
Mr.
Sex in the
Beast,
City.
Beast. Mr.
Mr.
Beast.
Beast.
Mr. Beast, yeah. No, I'm just curious if, who were our heroes? Like, I know we've talked about comic book heroes before in the past, but I'm like, this could either be like somebody who's in your life, or
Yeah.
because I feel like that's like something that's lacking today, Like, I feel like, or maybe it's just like it's misguided, or
Maybe we're just old and we
maybe
don't
we're just
see.
old and we're not seeing it. That's
Because
possible
he
as
asked me, my
well.
response was, "Oh, they're looking up to social media influencers,
Right.
that actually don't do anything."
Yeah.
Um, but
I think
I
that
don't know if that's true. That's just my perception.
Yeah.
you'd have to ask a younger person, but I think social
Mhm.
media presents uh, influencers and people with huge followings as something to aspire to, and it creates
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
slot machine mentality, keeps people posting, because then maybe this next post will be the post that
Yeah, maybe
makes me
this one will do it. Yeah.
viral and gets me the
It's a
followers and so on.
it's the same trigger from gambling,
Absolutely.
sitting at the slot machine,
So, yeah, because,
you
well,
know?
that's it. It is an addiction. I mean, it does become an addiction. The dopamine hit every time you get likes, and you
Yeah.
know,
I also think, like, if you say, you know, us growing up, we had movies where we looked up to these guys as heroes, like
Mhm.
Rambo. That was one of mine, for a while, Rambo, like this unstoppable force. But I think movies now, they're so anything's possible in a movie now to where nothing amazes anyone at all, you know?
I
So
agree.
it's hard to get sucked in and
Yeah,
latch on to a character because they're doing the impossible. Well, nothing's impossible now, you
yeah,
know? It's also a weird thing where the line between reality is being blurred. You see these videos pop up on Instagram, of this whatever it is. I saw like this thing with the centipede that was 8 feet long. And I was like, holy cow, this is insane. No, it was just AI generated, you know.
yeah.
So you stop believing even you don't even know. You stop caring. Oh, it's real or not real. I don't know.
Right.
When I was younger, I would say that I was a big like Luke Skywalker, Indiana Jones guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you know what? Those in the 20, 30 years, those there haven't been new stories. Like they keep making Star Wars literally has stretched and squeezed and elongated that entire
Yeah.
series and haven't created like new people to look up to necessarily. I mean, that's
Yeah.
debatable. Again, you have to ask someone who's a new watcher. But yeah, they keep making Indiana Jones movies, and there haven't made there's not like a new franchise of
Yeah.
centered around a hero. There probably is, and I'm not thinking of it. I'm not thinking of like a
Well, there's
new.
tons, but that's the issue, is like, are the movies connecting? I don't think I don't think it's movies anymore. Like we said, like for us, that's what it was. It was sports heroes like Michael Jordan. I still feel
Yeah.
like there are sports heroes out there, I guess, But
yeah, there are, and there's kids that are actually into sports.
right, but I feel like it's less that for whatever reason, like because my nephews rather are hugely into soccer, and they'll watch soccer, and they have
Yeah,
soccer players that they look up to, but it never seems the same as when we were kids. I
they
don't know,
don't
because
have
it felt like
posters on their
everybody was
walls.
a fan of the guys I looked up to, you know? Like, you could talk to anybody in the street, and they'd be like, "Yep, yep, yep." Everybody was in agreement, you know what I mean? I feel like
Maybe that's
our
just because
society is
you were the center of your world,
that's probably true.
you know? Maybe
That's
it's just a
probably true.
perspective thing. Because I would, like, work with guys and their kids play baseball and football, and they're, like, super into particular teams to where, like, this one individual, he'll take his sons to Kansas City to go see the Chiefs play because his son is into that much into Mahomes, you know?
Right.
So I think it's still there, with sports.
I find it hard to believe, like, when you compare it, like, Jake Paul to, I don't know, name a boxer from the '90s or the
Tyson?
Tyson was a little bit
Just
of a
be obvious.
Tyson was a little bit of a bad boy. I'm talking about a boxer that you would consider an upstanding citizen, like, I mean,
Upstanding
Tyson was
citizens don't
I don't know
box.
anyone other than
Yeah,
Tyson.
it has to be
He
Tyson.
come
destroyed
on,
everyone.
come on, Sugar Ray Leonard,
It's
come on,
Tyson
Sugar
and
Ray
Tyson
Leonard
and Tyson.
was
I
That
mean,
was
amazing.
it.
Evander Holyfield, maybe, but
Evander
no,
Holyfield,
nobody wanted
even
to be Evander. I can
E
tell you, I can speak
George
personally.
Foreman?
George Foreman,
Tyson was the champ, and he had his own video game, and he was the
Yeah.
baddest man on the planet, and he was on WrestleMania. Like, it's Tyson for me.
it is
Tyson.
Tyson,
Let's
yes.
talk about
There
Tyson.
are
That
no
dude.
upstanding citizens that decide, hey, I want to punch people for a living.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
Nope.
Thank you, Greg.
Come on,
Thank you.
Evander
That's really
Yeah.
it.
Holyfield was a nice
Yeah.
guy. George Foreman was a
That's why he got
minister,
his
right?
ear bit
Was he?
off.
Was he?
Wait.
I mean, for real though, he might have been
Hey,
nice on camera.
respect to
You
Evander
have to
Holyfield, but
all of
no.
them, but you have to have some killer in you
You do.
to
You
not
absolutely do.
not just pick up that sport, but excel to that level.
Yeah.
You got some murder in not you, yeah, you're a little bit of a murderer.
Yeah.
There's some murderer inside
What
of
about
you.
Rocky? Rocky's gotta count as like a positive role model, right? No?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah,
He
Rocky
was a
was up there,
fighter. He had
man.
some killer in him. He always
Yeah. I watched every single Rocky movie pumped up wanting to go fight.
yeah.
Or at least whatever I was into. Like if I was playing basketball and I watched Rocky, I would want to go play basketball,
Yeah.
because I was just amped. Are there any movies in the last 10 years that have motivated you like Rocky
No.
or got you amped or excited about the character, rooting for the character like Rocky?
No.
10 years. Since 2014.
I'm trying to
Nope.
think. I mean, maybe there was I might have watched a
When
couple
was
of
Rudy
sports.
filmed? That was in the 90s, huh?
That's
Every
way
once in a
back.
while, they come out with a good sports
Yeah.
film that's,
It doesn't have to even be sports,
right.
It could be anything.
Anything.
I really loved. So, again, cheesy, and they didn't make a franchise out of it.
The
But I
Notebook.
I really loved Free Guy as a movie.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
that movie was cool. I liked
that
that.
movie.
I did enjoy
I
it,
did
yeah.
Was that Ryan with
something
Ryan Reynolds?
with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. It was the video game.
He was the video game character that found
That
like
was fun.
sentient.
It was a fun movie.
It was just a fun movie. I came away from
Yeah.
that like, man, yeah, you know what? I'm
I like most
gonna
of Ryan Reynolds
rebuild my
movies.
life back up and do this stuff
Yeah.
like a video game character. And speaking of video
Yeah, how
game
many times have you
characters,
watched it after the first
I've
time?
seen it. I watched it one other time since then.
Mhm.
Okay.
Uh,
That's impressive. I was expecting you to say none,
no,
but still,
well, the
Rocky I've
reason
saw
I wouldn't have brought
57
it up
times.
if I had just watched it
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
Ready Player One, I
Okay.
Ready
watched
Player One's
twice after
good.
the initial watch,
Yeah.
and I liked those movies.
I enjoyed
Again,
it.
Ready Player One, I didn't like as much as Free Guy, but I like those type of movies. It was kind of
But it
like,
wasn't still, did you get that feeling of, man, I can go conquer the world now?
No, I will say, though, that as bad as most of them were, the movies that you would get when you go watch a Fast and the Furious movie, not the last few where they just went off the rails with CGI and they were jumping buildings with cars, but those first few Fast and the Furious movies where it was still kind of about racing and, family, brotherhood, whatever. Um, they
That's your Vin Diesel
you
impersonation?
yeah, that was my Vin Diesel. Uh, you would leave the theater and everyone was, like, peeling out and,
Yeah.
speeding to the stop sign to exit the theater and pulling up into oncoming traffic, and it was probably not the best reaction to the film, but
It motivated people to
it
go do what the movie
definitely
was doing.
motivated people to do something they probably wouldn't have done before they saw the movie. So I guess you gotta give them throw
Yeah.
Fast and the Furious a bone.
Um,
Uh,
for me, it's the Marvel movies. I was not a Marvel comic person, so everything I know is from the movies.
Okay.
And those Avengers movies with, you know, Iron Man, Captain America, like I experienced all that in real time with the movies. And those you know, spoiler out there, but it's been several years. The ultimate sacrifice, Iron Man puts himself out there, and then
Yeah.
Captain America definitely always did the right thing and
Yes.
always tried to keep the team together. Try to, you know,
I have
sometimes
an answer.
I'm a fan of those movies,
I
and
I
then
would agree with you.
series.
Yeah, I would agree with you that the first Avengers film that shot when they finally all get together and they're in the
Oh, that
middle of
was
the street
fantastic.
and the camera sort of pans
Yeah.
around them and they're all kinda
Yeah.
s
The
getting s
Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's we had never seen anything like that in a film, like all of
You
these
know what I
comic book
said when I
heroes.
left that movie? I think me and you might have saw it together.
I don't remember.
I don't know, but I left that movie and I said, "Well, they just ruined every movie going forward." That's at the time, it was that fantastic.
Yeah,
Now it's nothing. It's
yeah,
nothing.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it's
It's
nothing.
it's nothing.
I would say that it's been diluted,
Yeah.
because the problem is that if you have a never-ending story, you can never have the true climax of that
But
story,
not just
right?
the never-ending story, that magnitude of cinema, that bigness. It's in all of the little series they do now.
Right.
Everything's big,
Yeah,
It
but
doesn't lead up to anything.
what
Everything is big.
what they didn't realize, or maybe they did and they just are too lazy to try to replicate it again, is that the only reason that that moment worked is because we had watched all of the individual films about these characters,
Yeah.
and it was built up to this moment. Like, the only
Yeah.
reason we root for Rocky is because the first half of all the films, he's basically losing. He just keeps losing,
Yeah.
and so you're rooting
You're
for him by
invested.
the end to
Yeah.
win. And
Okay.
so I feel like the problem now is that every movie is got these giant stakes and, huge repercussions,
Yeah.
but not really because they bring back everybody who died, and I don't know. It's just
You gotta lean into the slow burn.
yeah.
You have to build stuff. They don't. Okay, before I forget, this movie got me amped. I remember leaving the theater. This was like 2 or 3 years ago. Leaving the theater, putting the soundtrack on, zooming back home at like midnight. Top Gun 2.
Okay, yep.
That one
You're
that one
right.
got me amped.
That one did get me amped.
I'd be remiss if I did not mention. I feel like I've mentioned it in another episode, but Heroes, the show, season one,
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
was near perfect. And the
I
only
don't know
thing
if we have talked about that, but
the
I'm glad you brought it
it's
up.
I was inspired by all the characters. It really spoke
Yes.
to me in a way. I thought they were right. I thought they were talking directly to me. I
Yeah.
really thought
Really good.
it really inspired me. I was making my first album around that time, and I was really
Right.
like
Yeah.
doing a lot of the formative
Yeah.
quiet entertainer stuff. I had just moved to Nashville, and they just talk so much about destiny and purpose and
Mhm.
doing, being yourself and then etc.
Yeah.
I loved it.
No,
I loved
it's
it.
a great it's
Yeah.
probably one of the best first seasons of a television show, uh,
It's
at
a
least in that
sad
genre.
story.
It
I
is.
it there's a couple of series at that time frame, so that was one. So the writers went on strike, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
And then was it season 2 that just,
Yeah,
they
like in the
threw 'em in a
middle.
they throw 'em in a circus, and there's, like, clown enemies, and
That's
it's, like,
season
retarded.
5 was the clown circus stuff. Yeah,
Okay, I
in the
don't know.
middle of season 2.
Anything after season 1
Yeah,
was just
season 1
garbage.
was the best that show ever got. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was pretty much a downhill,
I remember I even went get horn rimmed glasses because the dad had those glasses. It's like,
Yeah.
man, he's kinda nerdy, but cool.
Yeah.
I got 'em
Yeah, they
somewhere.
built everyone up so
Yeah,
perfectly, and
uh-huh.
loved
I
it.
Yeah, it
just
was a great
every
character
show, I was
arcs,
just like, "Oh, man, this
Yeah.
show."
great
Why
I
they
character
couldn't just
arcs,
put it
yeah.
on hold, man. Like, but Jericho was another one at that same time
Yep,
frame. Jericho was
that
freaking
that was a
phenomenal.
great show, super underrated, by the way. A
Yeah.
lot of people I bring that up all the time, and people are
No
like,
one
"I've
knows
never
about
heard
it.
of it."
Yeah,
I'd suggest
same.
everyone go watch it
Never
and
heard
just
of
be
it.
disappointed that you can't watch the next that's
Yeah,
they
well
actually continued it in a comic book in a graphic
well,
novel, which
it
I
lasted
have.
2 seasons, right? They renewed it for 2 seasons. Both
Yeah.
seasons were great. It was
Yep.
basically it took place in the United States after a nuclear attack.
Eh,
I really wanna throw this to Greg because he is a DJ, but musical heroes for
Kurt
you?
Cobain.
Okay,
Sorry.
B's, Kurt Cobain, throwing him out there.
Uh, have I'm surprised we have never talked about this. I long have said that DJ Shadow is
I
one of
knew it.
my musical
Yeah.
fathers, and then Paul from Mute Math has been the other musical. Like I had two musical dads. I've looked up to both DJ Shadow and Mute Math for a very long time, and just very closely studied their careers as far as like why they released this type of album at this time or what they were trying to do. I would definitely there's people, I have music heroes and acting heroes. Everything that I'm trying to do, I have like someone I'm trying to template
That right, that
after.
you sort of model yourself after. Me not being a musician, I don't really have my musical heroes are just like the people I like to listen to. It's like different stages in my life, I was like, okay, I'm going through this phase musically, and I'm really into this. I'm really into U2 right now. I'm really into the Beatles right now. I'm really into Stevie Wonder right now. Just going through those phases, and I don't know, just it's really cool just to go back and sort of experience a lot of the stuff that's come before you, and then you can kind of see how it's influenced what's happening, like in the current. And now that I'm older, it's, like, kind of interesting to see the stuff I listened to 10 years ago, how that even influenced what we're listening to now, and not always a positive way, but yeah, there's so many, it's hard to name a few, but
Do y'all ever and I'm wondering if this is just me. When I was young and I would hear new music, I would be blown away. This is so amazing.
mhm.
I don't get that anymore. Doesn't matter how good it is. Like, yeah, it's good. It's a good band. Yeah, I like it. And maybe I'll start listening to them and, start following that band. But I haven't been blown
It's
away by
not
music
it's a
since I
different
was
yeah, it's a different
a
experience, right?
teenager. Yeah.
Even my favorite artists, and it's even if they write a song that in my mind is better than songs they wrote previously,
Yeah.
and the production is, like, off the chain. I mean, because everybody's production is amazing now, right?
Yeah.
The only
Yeah.
way it's bad now is if they purposefully want it to sound
They
raw.
want it to be bad.
Right, they
Yeah.
want it to sound bad. But
And then it sounds good because that's what they wanted.
yes.
They did it on purpose, and they're so talented that it sounds fantastic.
When you were blown away the last time, what was it
Yep.
about?
It was
What
Nirvana. When I
Okay.
heard Nirvana for the first time, and I had a Walkman, and my cousin, because you know how you had the tape recorders with the 2? You could put 2 cassettes in. You could play one and record on the other.
Yeah. You
So
had
he
that on a
recorded
Walkman?
recorded a copy. No, he had it, like, on his
Oh,
boombox.
okay.
So he made a copy for me of, was it Nevermind? And as soon as I put it in, it was like, "Oh, wow, this is different." And I remember laying in bed with the Walkman listen to the whole thing, flipping it over, listening to the next side,
Yeah.
and being completely blown away
I
to where I
Greg was just blown away.
today to where today I'm kind of sick of it. I've listened to Nirvana, and then it was just like all of their albums after that,
Yeah, the first
you
time I ever
know?
heard "Billie Jean" by Michael Jackson, that was a song that blew
That
me away.
was that was,
That was,
yeah, that was really anything Michael Jackson was awesome, but they didn't blow me away, like, it didn't I knew what was happening, that it was something special as a kid because we were younger for that,
right,
but, yeah, it didn't catch me,
right.
I was more of the rock,
Yeah, I liked
you
Nirvana,
know?
but I don't know, I was never, like, blown away by them, I guess.
I think it hit too, like, because I was in my teenage years,
Right,
and some of the songs are so cryptic. Maybe they're not even cryptic, he's just throwing out random words,
right.
where it's like, "Oh, wow, I wonder what this means." "He's such a tortured soul." You knew that, without even knowing what
Right.
that meant as a kid.
He
You know
almost
he was
sounds
struggling with
suicidal.
something, and you're going through your own crap because 'cause you're a teenager
Right,
and being an introvert, you feel like you're ugly. No one wants to talk to you. I don't wanna talk to anyone. I wanna hide. I wanna crawl in a hole, And then you put this on and you're like, "Wow, this I don't know what he's saying, but I feel like I can relate to it somehow."
right.
And it rocks.
Yes. No, they've got some great tracks. Distinctly remember I don't know if I was blown away, but just really being absorbed by their unplugged, session on
Oh, that's my
MTV.
favorite album. That's actually I have that
Yes.
vinyl,
That
actually.
that
It's
that
fan
is probably
that's
my
actually
favorite
their
Nirvana was
best.
yeah. It's
Yeah, because they do some insane covers on it,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, The Man Who Sold the World, the Bowie cover is probably one of my
Bowie
favorite.
cover is fantastic.
My experience with DJ Shadow was seeing his video for Midnight in a Perfect World and realizing, man, this guy did all of that. The video was like a collage of all these video samples that he pieced together to make this
Yeah.
song. And like seeing it all there is just like, I can't believe
Yeah.
he did all of that. Like that is crazy. And it's like a music, like a music nerd's wet dream of just like this guy must just listen to music nonstop. How did he find this or how did he do that? And
Right.
realizing like this guy listens to music the way I do probably. And
So many
Mhm.
bad habits we have. Uh, my worst one is probably sticking to the fact that I'm a night person, even though I'm getting older and my wife goes to sleep much
You
earlier than
are a
I
night
do.
person.
I've always been a night person,
Yeah, but
man.
Holly goes to sleep, like, at a stupid time. She's like 6 p.m. in bed. 6 p.m., time to jam me up.
is she in bed right now?
Yes, she's asleep right now.
See?
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. She's not. It's only 6:50, but for the sake of the podcast, yes, she's in bed right now. No, but I've got these habits that it's like, okay, I've always done it this way, so I just keep doing it this way. And I feel like our whole society is like that. It's like, well, this is how things are done, and so we're just going to keep on doing them this way, even though that way has led us down a terrible path. It's like, it doesn't matter. Let's just keep it. This is just a habit now. We just do it. This is how we do it. What's your worst habit?
My worst habit?
Yes.
Are we talking about worst morally or worst
Eh,
habit that I wish I didn't do or
Either.
I don't
Whatever.
whatever
I
popped into your
mean,
head first.
I wish just based off of what you were saying, I do wish I were more of a morning person as far as
Hmm.
like waking up. And now my rhythm or my internal clock kind of just wakes me up at 8:30. But I keep thinking of all the stuff I want to do every day and I just think, man, I should get up earlier to do
Yep.
all that. It definitely has affected my gym time. My habit of not putting things where they go, and so I always have like a messy place. That's kind of something I'm trying to clean up myself. Those are the things that I wish were different. I've got my eating habits kind of dialed in right now, but trying to put it all together. I wish I saved 10% of all my income. I'm always kind of scraping to pay the next bill. So that's another habit. I
Mhm.
can't think of anything I just repeatedly do that I'm either really proud of or really ashamed of that
Yeah,
that I want to
brushing
put
your
out
teeth.
here to the
I'm pretty proud.
introverts.
I mean, I'm pretty proud I brush my teeth twice daily, most
Twice.
days. Yeah,
Do you
morning.
floss every day?
Oh, well, that's impressive. Dude, I'm
I don't floss every day. I'm working on it.
okay.
These guys
Hey,
right here.
check it out. He's
I
got
I just happened to have the because I ate right before this, right before I jumped on, and I kind of used this to get
okay,
the
well,
steak.
can you form a
What?
new habit in 21 days? I was trying to
Okay.
find how
Okay.
long it says to create a new habit.
All right. Let me this is the perfect spot for what I wanted to say.
Okay.
So like 2 years ago, I read a book called Atomic Habits by
Oh, there it
James
is.
Clear.
There it
James
is.
Clear. This book is fantastic. Okay. Now I need to go back. This is one of those books where you should probably have a highlighter with you and highlight as you're going because it helps you mentally remember,
Right.
right? And then go back and read it again. But there's, he talks about how long does it something take to become a habit, but moreover, what changed my life from that book is not, yes, repetition for, X amount of days and now it's a habit, right? Is and like for the gym is a great example. It's okay to miss a day,
Mhm.
but never miss 2 days unless you're sick. There are circumstances, right?
Right, right.
But just out of being lazy or procrastination or whatever. Okay, you missed a day. It's okay. Don't do it twice. Show up the second time. The other thing, and I don't remember if it's in this book or maybe it was something. It might have been this book. Is that your best performances? You don't become great by just you're gonna be doing it every day at a high level. You become great at whatever you're doing. When that habit, you're doing that habit when you don't feel like doing it, but you do it anyway. And maybe you're not at your 100% game. You know, maybe you're feeling tired or whatever, and you're only at 50%, but you do it anyway. On those days, that's when you're making your huge jumps. When you don't, you think you're doing horrible at it, but you didn't want to do it, but you did it anyway.
Yeah.
Um, this those kind of things, and you can apply it to anything.
Right.
Yeah, keeping your room clean. I didn't want to do it today, but I did it anyway.
My room's a
Well,
mess.
I didn't do it yesterday, but it's not going to be 2 days in a row.
Yeah, this Healthline
So,
article I was looking at says 66 days. A behavior can become automatic for
mhm,
you if you do it consecutive
yeah.
66 days.
Yeah, I know like 3 weeks or 2 weeks or something has been like
I
a
know,
thing.
but man, I've
I
tried
don't
it.
think that's true.
I don't think it's
And
true either because I've worked out for 3 weeks.
yeah,
Maybe taking a day or 2 off, but for the
yeah,
most part, 3 weeks working out, and
no.
nope, didn't happen for me. Didn't make it
No,
happen.
it probably took me over a year to be like, this is now a habit
Yeah.
where I want to, and that's working out's a little different because it's painful and
Mhm.
maybe you don't like doing that thing.
Right.
It took over a year to become something I enjoy doing. Like I was sick this week. I'm freaking dying to get back in there, but I know I can't because I
Right.
don't want to relapse, you know. So yeah, I think it definitely takes longer than 3 weeks to make it a true habit.
Right, for sure. I think it could become a routine that you sort of like,
A
okay,
routine. Yeah.
but
You're used to the
you're used to
routine
the
now.
routine, but it hasn't seeped into your
Yeah.
bones where it's like a part of
Yeah.
you. Like you feel off if you don't do this
Right.
thing,
Right. Like
you
right
know?
now I feel off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I read a lot from Cal Newport, and he's like a professor at MIT, and he writes a lot about behavior change
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
habits and things. And he was talking about the book Atomic Habits,
Yeah,
but
it's really good.
he has a. I saw him in an interview with Ramit Sethi or something, and he was talking about how to get things done or how to finish things that you start. That's really what the
Yeah.
what the talk was about. And yeah, just this idea of breaking things into smaller chunks is is the way to go. And I think
Mhm.
that's maybe where the 21 days is kind of it's an out of reach yet reachable goal for
Right.
people to commit to
Start
versus
small.
trying to commit to like two or 3 months of gym attendance
Well,
or
yeah,
getting
for
up or
me,
whatever.
it's when I start something because they say it's harder. Obviously, it's harder to stop a habit that is pleasurable, like something that you get pleasure
Right.
from is much more difficult to break that habit than something that is harming you. Working out generally for most people isn't doesn't feel good. It's not a, you might feel good after you're done, but there's that
Yeah.
moment, like I was trying to get in the habit of, speaking of Joe Rogan, but he's really into the cold plunge and the sauna
Mhm.
and doing the extreme cold and extreme hot temperatures and stuff. And
Yeah. So you've been trying it?
I've tried it. I'm not a
Where?
fan. In my shower, just like
No one's a fan. That's the
well,
point.
I
You gotta
realize
bust
that, but
through
that's
it.
the thing. It's like I'm like, no, I can't. It's not.
That's not
I
even
feel
so
like
you did like a homemade sauna in your shower?
well, it wasn't a sauna. I mean, I
You did
always
the
take
cold
hot
plunge.
showers. Yeah, it's
You
just
took a
like
cold
yeah, I
shower.
took a cold shower. I tried to do it,
Okay.
and it's very it's I don't see myself making that a habit because I'm just not it's not gonna happen.
That's
If
the
it became a
challenge, right?
habit, it wouldn't be
That's the
effective.
Yeah.
challenge is making things you don't like to do a habit. It's easy
Yes.
to eat a chocolate bar every day, and now that's my habit.
Yes.
Cold plunge every day. Okay, how do we do that?
Yeah.
Well, we gotta do this 60 days in a row,
Mhm.
90 days in a row,
Yeah.
and see the benefits.
Right.
Then your brain starts recognizing the benefits
Right.
that, "Oh, wow, I like this benefit more than I hate the pain."
Mhm.
And
That's
that's
exactly
what
it.
for the gym, for me, that's that benefit. Like, while I'm going through the pain, I'm like, "Yes, bring the pain
Mhm.
because the benefit is freaking awesome."
Right.
But it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
The enemy, the harder the pain, the bigger the distance between the pain and the reward,
Mhm.
it's the longer it takes to make it a
Yeah.
habit, you
Absolutely.
know? But,
What is
he
the
takes care of
benefit
himself.
of doing that? Is it just training your mind to do things that you
No,
don't want
no,
to do?
no, there's actual positive, body benefits that have been
Yeah.
shown.
No, there is some studies behind it, and I haven't cared enough because I instantly say, "I don't wanna do that."
Yes.
I don't even know where to do that at, like,
Well, the easiest way to
these are
do it
like
is to go to grab a bucket of ice from your fridge. You get ice, and then you just
poured in
pour
the
it in your
bathtub.
bathtub and with
I don't
cold
have that
water,
much ice.
and just lay in it for, like, 3 minutes.
But see how I am? I go to extremes. I'm like, "No, I wanna do it the right way."
Right,
I don't want this isn't cold enough. I need the
right.
cold that is the right way that the athletes are doing. This is why you see football players, they're in the freaking ice tubs
Yes.
full of ice.
Yep. Yes, the
And
same thing.
you know what it does? It increases, the rate at which your muscles
It
repair.
does that too, yep. Yeah. No, there's a lot of
Um,
positive, benefits.
but he's going back and forth. He does, like, the sauna,
Mhm.
or maybe it's vice versa. I don't remember
He
what he
goes
does one and then does the
he does
other.
cold first, then the hot.
You ever did a sauna? I've done
I've
that.
not, no.
That's harder than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did the dry sauna, which is weird. Dude, you're gonna
Just like you're
sweat your
just
ass
like you're in
off.
an oven.
It's just you're in an
I feel
oven.
like just
I've
walking
done, like
outside my door in the morning on the way to
no,
work is
nope,
like the sauna.
not that's very comfortable.
I've n-
You s
I've not been in the sauna. I think I did a sauna one time, uh, and that was pretty
now
uncomfortable. And
yeah,
Yeah.
I
it's
just thought, why
uncomfortable. When
do
you get
this?
out, dude, you feel fantastic.
Mhm.
I did
You
feel
feel like
good the
this.
next day, but I did a lot of other
Yeah.
stuff that day, so I
Yeah.
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
blame it on the
It's
sauna.
yeah, it's
I
tricky.
don't
You
know.
gotta you gotta make sure you just do one thing and try it out. Like, okay, is this
Yeah.
really making me feel this good, or is it is it the cigarettes I smoked earlier?
Yeah.
When I toured with Mute Math, one of my friends, when I was in Los Angeles, we did like a man like spa day,
Yeah.
and so I had never done anything like that, and so I did the whole like sauna and like deep tissue massage and like
Mhm. Oh, those are nice too.
mani pedi, all that stuff. And yeah, I did feel pretty great the next day, but I
Mhm.
can't
Mhm.
blame it on because so much happened.
Right.
I can't blame it on the one thing. I can't blame it on sauna.
Yeah.
No, sauna made me feel, I don't know, like everything bad was out of me
Cooked.
and relaxed. Yeah, I felt relaxed.
Well,
Very
but think about it. When you put meat, when you're cooking meat,
tenderizes it.
when you're cooking meat, all of like the fat and the
Mhm,
sort of the oils and stuff, the grease, so to speak,
mhm.
bubbles out, right? Like the heat
Yeah,
purifies and gets it down to its
but the
core
fat's
essence.
already out. So the fat's already on the outside of the meat. My fat's on the inside of my meat.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So it's it's
Gotta
it's just
get it
starting to
out.
cook it.
Yeah.
Just got
It does. I actually have,
grease coming out of
like I
your
said, I started
pores.
listening to Rogan recently, very recently, and he's very convincing. Like,
He's
I'm like, maybe there are UFOs, Rogan. You might be right. You know? Hmm. It's very interesting. I just don't know where to do it. I want to do it right. I don't know
Mhm.
where to do it. Like, I've got a sauna at my gym, but it's disgusting.
Sounds like that's where you got to do it.
But there's no cold plunge. Where do I do the cold plunge at?
In the summer,
Well,
it's gonna be difficult.
where do
Yeah.
you live? You live Tampa?
Tampa, it's hot.
I'm
Mhm.
gonna Google.
It's
I'm gonna
it's
Google
about the
some stuff
same as
for you.
where Roby's at.
Go or cold plunge Tampa. I have.
Wow.
Uh,
Cold plunge Tampa. Just a place that does cold
Yep.
plunges.
there's a bunch of
There's a
locations.
bunch of them. See, I haven't gotten to
So
that point of interest yet.
you're
It's just been in the nethers of my mind,
Uh-huh, yeah.
like, it's
What
gotta
it
slowly trickle
is you're
down.
worried about your nethers in that cold plunge, and that's,
Nah, my nethers are gone by now. I'm 46. No, I'm just joking. That's
your
actually the worst
nethers.
part, right? When you get into a swimming pool, it's like your nethers and then your nips. Like, it's like getting above your waist. It's like, ooh, and then it's getting above your nips, the cold
uh-huh,
water.
that's it. Those are the
Yeah.
2 spots that don't like the cold. But yeah, I used to love that feeling, right, of jumping in a cold swimming pool. You hated
You
it.
used to like that?
Yeah, like, you weren't looking forward to it, but once you did it, it actually felt good. It was like you felt sort of re-energized when you jumped in a cold swimming pool.
It's
You're
'cause it's
talking
been a
about
while
when
for
you're
me.
hot. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, when you're hot, that's different.
Yes. Yeah, if
Okay.
it's in the middle of
Summertime, it's
if
Not
you're in
in
the middle of
102
general.
winter,
outside.
you're not jumping in a swimming pool. That's not
Alright. So when we do this, oh, by the way, your wife gave us permission to all go to Nashville
Yeah,
last week.
to do
You have a
my
free pass.
bachelor party.
You
Oh,
have a
okay.
free
Yeah.
pass to go to Nashville, so it sounds like we know what we're doing.
Okay.
I don't
Hot and cold plunges.
that all happened so fast. We got permit I don't just listen back to that episode. I
I
don't
haven't
know.
yet. No, I have
Yeah,
not
Yeah.
yet.
it happened so
It did happen
quickly.
fast. Like, she had that planned. I'm getting on there. I'm getting
She's
rid of Roby for a week. Like, we were like, "Are you
it's
serious? Are
like
you?"
yeah, it
I was,
kind
like,
of
tiptoeing around it. I was like, "Is this a joke?"
I don't think we had gotten there in the subject yet. And it just
No,
all of a
she just brought
sudden
it
we
up
She brought it up.
out
By
of the
the
blue.
way,
Out of the blue.
I
By
want
the
him out of
way,
the
you're
house.
taking Roby.
yeah, I think that's an exact quote. I think
I think she
that
actually
might be an
said something
exact
like, "Oh,
quote.
yeah, when are y'all planning to go to Nashville as a group, a guys group?" And I'm like, "What?" Like, because we were just BSing. It wasn't even like a thing.
I
"Yeah,
know,
y'all are doing that."
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
"Really?" She's
she
like,
she
"No, you
She
signed
take
off.
she's
him."
she's actually looking at Airbnbs and, like, sending them to me, like, "Hey, what
Say
about
I
this
think she's
place?"
Yeah,
think it's
make it
booked.
happen. We'll do it. I'm good. We're
Yeah,
gonna
it's
do like
gotta
a
be near
3-day
it's gotta we
weekend.
gotta get a place near the cold plunge, near Nashville
Let's
cold
do it for
plunge.
Labor Day. How about Labor Day? Get a nice 4-day weekend,
Well, that'll probably
3-day
be
weekend.
around, the time the end of the f
And it's my birthday.
is it your birthday?
Well, it's close enough.
Yeah, that could
Cold
Close
work.
enough to
plunge.
what? When is your birthday?
September 7th.
Hmm.
Labor Day, I think, is the 2nd this year.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
know. Let me know if you end up. Hopefully, I'll still have
We
this
could
Thursday night DJ gig
we
Yes,
could
by then.
record from the sauna
from the
and the cold
sauna, yeah.
plunge.
The
That
steamy
would be funny,
steamy
actually. We could
episode.
get something on a phone or something, record it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this is my last episode at this location because
Oh, snap.
I'm moving to another apartment
Okay.
this
All
week.
right. Cool.
So we'll
You
see
need
what
help
the
moving?
uh I do, but don't worry about it.
I'm not gonna help.
Don't
I
worry
did it
about it.
myself. You can do it
I was
yourself.
gonna say I have a truck, but
Yeah.
I'm like
Don't worry
12
Pick me
about
up,
it.
hours
Roby.
away, so I don't know.
Y'all are relieved. Y'all are relieved
Yeah.
from helping.
All right, we'll be with
Absolutely.
you in spirit when you move, Greg, and
I won't because I just moved. You're on your own. Not my spirit is done with moving. Sorry.
I understand.
That's what I offer you as a friend, honesty.
I appreciate it. Hey, this is Greg from the Introverse podcast. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to podcasts. We're also on Introverse Pod on social media. Thank you so much for listening.
What he said.
Yep. Nailed it.
Boom.